Yeah. Community building is central to your work, and you emphasize that throughout the answers you provided. Why is creating strong communities just as important as developing new technologies or policies for the green transition?
So I'm here in England, in the north of England, which probably most of the world will see as quite a cold and wet country. And we have wildfires. And we have wildfires that are out of control. And in a few months' time, we'll probably have floods where people lose their houses. Now, we are relatively rich as a country compared to other countries on this earth. And probably for a few years to come, we can afford to put that right after it's happened. But the fact is, fire and flood, they are here in England. They are certainly, and much worse, all over the world. Equally, war, genocide, people fleeing from one country to another, all of that is happening for historical reasons, for reasons of climate change, for reasons of biodiversity loss. That is real, and it's present, and it's in our lives. Yes, we need new technologies, but when this fire comes, when this flood comes, when this war comes, it's only as community that we'll get through. One of the first things we did with Green Changemakers was we loved the sustainability goals, the SDGs, but they weren't as useful to us as a piece of research called 15 Green Skills. And that does include the technology side of things. It includes leadership and systems. It includes skills like empathy and how we work together, but it also includes really practical skills. We need people in our communities who can build shelter, who can sanitize water, who can forage and preserve food, who can grow food, who can look after children, who can, help keep people clean and healthy. We need those skills. And I think certainly here in England, some people are starting to recognize that. They're teaching the old skills of building to retrofit houses so that they are more resilient to the fire and the flood. People are learning to make things and remake things without using plastic. We can only do that in community and by learning the skills from one another. So that's one level. At the same time, of course, we need people who can use the new technology to harness green energy, for example. But that's got to be a balance. And I do believe that it's in people working together, and my community development training taught me this, and my experience taught me this. When you start working on something with some other people, you start chatting, you start talking, don't you, Francis? And then you're saying, have you noticed that milk is getting really expensive? What's that about? Well, I read that it was about, and is it about that? And you start to problematize and understand the politics, the economics, the racism, the unfairness, the inequality of the things that are happening. So community, for all of those reasons, is essential. I think for humankind, nobody has the answers to this. So community allows us to gather those different perspectives and perhaps find some new ways forward.